The Marine ceremony had reached its proudest moment. Rows of young men and women stood in perfect formation, their boots polished, their uniforms glowing under the afternoon sun. Families filled the stands, clapping, waving flags, some holding back tears of pride. But then, just as the battalion commander raised his hand to deliver the final salute, one sergeant's eyes locked on a single figure in the crowd. She was a widow. Her black dress fluttered in the warm breeze, her trembling hands clutching a folded flag against her chest. At first, she looked like any other grieving spouse honoring the fallen. But when her sleeve slipped just slightly, the sergeant froze. Ink glimmered faintly beneath the sunlight, a tattoo etched deep into her forearm. Not just any tattoo. An eagle clutching a broken rifle, entwined with roses. His chest tightened. His mind raced. That mark wasn't random. It was the exact emblem once carried by a Marine brother who had fallen beside him years earlier. A man who had saved his life. The sergeant's breath caught. Around him, the ceremony carried on, but inside his chest, time stood still. The whispers began to ripple down the line of officers as word spread. Families leaned forward, confused by the sudden break in rhythm. Even the flag overhead seemed to still against the sky. Finally, unable to stand silent, the sergeant broke formation. His boot struck the pavement like thunder. The crowd hushed. Graduates stiffened, unsure if tradition was unraveling before them. He stopped in front of her son, a young Marine recruit standing taller than his years, his jaw trembling with pride. The sergeant's voice, low but steady, cut the silence. "Private, step forward." The young man obeyed, his eyes darting between his mother and the man before him. And then, with the weight of memory pressing against his chest, the sergeant told the crowd about a night of chaos years ago when one Marine refused to retreat so the others could live. He told them about sacrifice without applause and bravery without witness. And finally his voice broke as he looked at the widow's tattoo. "Your father was that man," he said, "and today his son stands before us." The silence shattered into applause. Families rose to their feet, clapping through tears. The widow buried her face in her hands, overcome by the sudden flood of grief and pride colliding at once. The sergeant raised his hand, not in command, but in honor. He saluted the young Marine, not as a recruit, but as the living legacy of a fallen brother. And in that moment, every soldier standing there understood what it meant to wear their uniform. It wasn't for medals. It wasn't for glory. It was for the chain of courage that never breaks, passed down from one generation to the next. Because sacrifice doesn't disappear. It lives on, inked in skin, carried in memory, and beating in the hearts of those left behind. And beneath the sunlit sky, the widow realized something she thought impossible. She had not lost her husband completely. His courage was alive, standing tall, in the sun they now honored.